This is SmittysBeeRescue, and I want to do a little segment on wasps and the importance of wasps are in your garden. This is the mid-July. Since I've had my two honeybee hives, I've been studying up on insects, and I don't want to use herbicide in my garden and that to get rid of insects, and wasps play a very important role in the balance of your garden to get rid of the insects. They use the insects to feed their larvae, and before I got my honeybees, I'd go around and spray all the wasp nests and kill them. And now I've got my honeybees. I've decided not to destroy the nests unless they're a nuisance and up by the house where they might sting the grandsons or the grandkids when they're here playing. Behind my greenhouse there's a little shed, and we'll go over there and take a close-up at that wasp nest on the back of the shed. Alright, this is a close-up of a paper wasp nest behind my shed. They're getting a little irritated right now with the light on them and the heat because it's early in the morning. So I'm going to step away and we're going to talk about paper wasps and the importance of them on your garden and keeping your garden bug free. Alright, we stepped away from shining the light on the wasp nests here on the back of the shed because the heat from the light was starting to irritate them. Wasps are a lot more aggressive than the honeybees, so when you're around them, you want to be careful not to disturb them because they'll definitely sting you. And I've been stung many times by wasps more than I have honeybees. But now I've started keeping honeybees. I've studied and watched videos on the importance of the wasps. And these paper wasp nests, these wasps go into the garden and into your vegetables and get the insects and bring them back and put them inside the cell where the larvae is, and so the larvae can live on it as they mature inside the little nests they make out of paper. So I've decided not to spray the wasps if they're not a hazard to the kids and my family up around the house, but to leave them out around the outbuildings so that they take care of the garden insects, so I don't use herbicides and spray on the insects. Just kill the insects, which affects my bees. Another wasp that I learned about was the mud dauber wasp, or the mud wasp. They're a little black wasp. And inside this garage here, I've got about 3 or 4 mud wasp nests in there, and we're going to do a close-up on them. And they get rid of the black widow spiders, and they're very useful wasps too to have around to get rid of the spiders. Alright, this is a mud wasp nest. They call them mud wasps, mud darbies, different names for them. This is a black wasp that makes this mud cells, and they lay their larvae inside them. And these wasps get black widow spiders, the small ones, and they sting them, but they don't kill them, they just paralyze them, and they put them inside the little cocoon there for their larvae to live on as they're maturing. And so this wasp nest, these mud wasps, I'm not going to disturb it or get rid of it because I want them to work on the black widow spiders. Alright, this is a paper wasp nest. This is another wasp that harvests insects out of your garden and put them inside for the larvae to live on. And this one I'm not going to disturb either because it's good for your garden, and as long as you leave them alone, they won't sting you. Alright, the next summary is on the wasps, and the importance of wasps play in the ecosystem and in your garden. Before, I used to spray them and kill the wasps. Now I've decided to leave the wasp nests alone as long as they're not stinging the grandsons and being a hazard to the family. And any wasp nests that I can transfer back out to my outbuildings where they're out of the way, I'm going to do so they'll harvest the insects out of the garden so I don't have to use chemicals in the garden. The only wasps that are really a bad nuisance is the hornets. And the hornets are a meat scavenger off of dead animals, and they're more of a nuisance than the regular paper wasp and the mud wasp. And so if you have a garden and you're raising bees, you need to keep in mind that the wasps are an important part of the whole system in your garden.